Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of x plus 1 is equal to x. So to solve this, I'm going to start by subtracting x on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I'm left with x to the power of x plus 1 minus x is equal to 0. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So x to the power of x plus 1, this is going to be equal to x to the power of x times x to the power of 1. Now I have this minus x is equal to 0. Now if I factor out x, I get x times x to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 0. So now this gives me two equations. I have x is equal to 0, and I have x to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 0. So x equals 0. This is already a solution. Now for x to the power of x minus 1 equals 0, I'm going to add 1 on both sides. So then these two cancel out, and I get x to the power of x is equal to 1. Now, because x has to be the same number, we obviously know that, well, what number to the power of itself is equal to 1? That's going to be 1, right? Because 1 to the power of 1 is equal to itself. So x is equal to 1. And there's no other number that when you take the power of itself is going to equal 1. Meaning x equals 1 is the only solution to this equation. So now to check, the original equation was x to the power of x plus 1 is equal to x. So x to the power of x plus 1 is equal to x. And our first solution is 0. So if I plug in 0, I get 0 to the power of 0 plus 1 is equal to 0. Now 0 plus 1 is 1, so I have 0 to the power of 1 equals 0, and 0 to the power of any number is itself, so I get 0 equals 0. Now to check for 1, I get 1 to the power of 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so I get 1 to the power of 2 is equal to 1, and 1 to the power of any number itself, so 1 equals 1. Alright, so in this problem, I have x to the power of x is equal to 9 to the power of x plus 81. So to solve this problem, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So right here I have 9 to the power of x plus 81. And I can rewrite this as 9 to the power of x times 9 to the power of 81. Now, I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 9 to the power of x. So then these two cancel out. Now I have x to the power of x over 9 to the power of x is equal to 9 to the power of 81. Now, if I have something in the form a to the power of m over b to the power of m, this is equal to a over b to the power of m. So x to the power of x over 9 to the power of x, this is going to equal x over 9 to the power of x, which is equal to 9 to the power of 81. Now, I'm going to take the power of 1 over 9 on both sides. So I have x to the power of 9 to the power of x over 9 is equal to 9 to the power of 81 over 9. And 81 divided by 9, that's going to equal 9. So I have x over 9 to the power of x over 9 is equal to 9 to the power of 9. And now if I have something in the form a to the power of a is equal to b to the power of b, then this means that a is equal to b. So in this case, I have x over 9 to the power of x over 9 equals 9 to the power of 9. So this means that x over 9 is equal to 9, and x is equal to 81. So now to check, my original equation was x to the power of x equals 9 to the power of x plus 81, and x is equal to 81. So I have 81 to the power of 81 is equal to 9 to the power of 81 plus 81. And 81 to the power of 81, that's the same thing as 9 squared to the power of 81 is equal to 9 to the power of 162. And this is the same thing as 9 to the power of 162. So I have 9 to the power of 162 is equal to 9 to the power of 162. This is right. Alright, so in this problem, I have 3 to the power of x minus 3 to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 18. So to start, if I have something in the form a to the power of m plus n, this is equal to a to the power of m times a to the power of n. So 3 to the power of x minus 1, that's going to equal 3 to the power of x times 3 to the power of negative 1. And I have this is equal to 18. Now I'm going to go ahead and factor out 3 to the power of x. So I get 3 to the power of x times 1 minus 3 to the power of negative 1 is equal to 18. And now 3 to the power of negative 1, that's the same thing as 1 over 3 to the power of 1, which is simply 1 over 3. And 1 minus 1 over 3, that's going to equal 2 over 3. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2 over 3. And dividing by 2 over 3, that's the same thing as multiplying by 3 over 2. So I have 18 times 3 over 2. And 18 times 3 is 54. 54 divided by 2 is 27. So I have 3 to the power of x is equal to 27. And 27 is the same thing as 3 to the power of 3. So I have 3 to the power of x is equal to 3 to the power of 3, meaning x is equal to 3. So now, to check, I got 3 to the power of x minus 3 to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 18. And x is 3, so I have 3 to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 3 minus 1 is equal to 18. And 3 to the power of 3 minus 1, that's 3 to the power of 2, so I have 3 to the power of 3 minus 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 18. And 3 to the power of 3, this is equal to 27. 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 9, so I have 27 minus 9 is equal to 18. And 27 minus 9, that is 18. So I get 18 is equal to 18, and because this is right, my solution of x equals 3 is also right.